Have you ever stopped to think that what you always thought was just history or myth is happening right before your eyes? It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But what many don't want to admit is that we are living a unique moment. The peak of prophecies that once seemed distant and even impossible. While the world spins in chaos, with news that shocks us every moment, an ancient narrative reveals itself in details few notice. And that could change everything you think about the future. Imagine for a moment that the clock of time is running a silent countdown, and that Israel, the desert, Jerusalem, even social media, are part of a bigger plan. A divine script being written in real time. You might think it's just another ordinary day, but the truth is, these prophecies are already shaping the world in your life much more than you imagine. Get ready to see with new eyes, because what seemed far away is closer than ever. If you think this is just theory, wait until you see the proof, the real examples, the stories behind each fulfilled prophecy. And more than that, you will discover what you can do to not be just a spectator of this story, but a protagonist. Let's go on this journey together, because what I'm about to share can shake your faith, your hope, and even your destiny. Imagine a scene so unlikely, it seems like fiction, a people scattered for almost 2,000 years, spread across the corners of the world, with their language, culture, and faith practically extinct where it all began. Suddenly, like a miracle-defying time, this nation is reborn in a single day, with its identity intact. That is exactly what happened on May 14, 1948, when Israel was officially declared a state. This is not just a story of geopolitics. It's God's prophetic clock, marking a decisive time for humanity. Think about it. It's as if the Roman Empire, that ancient colossus, returned today with its Senate and Latin spoken by the people. Unbelievable, right? That's exactly the magnitude that the prophecies of Isaiah and Ezekiel revealed. This resurrection was not an ordinary human achievement, but the fulfillment of an ancient promise, signaling that what is written is not dead letter, but a map for our present days. This nation is not just a territory. It is a spiritual thermometer indicating the advance of prophetic time. For those wondering what this has to do with everyday life, here is a point few notice. Understanding this prophecy is to understand that we are living in a time where divine promises are no longer abstract. Israel's story is an invitation to recognize that the invisible is manifesting in the visible. If God can restore a nation after millennia, imagine what he can do in your life, in your hopes and seemingly lost dreams. But this is just the tip of the iceberg of what's to come. Who would have thought that what seemed to be dry, arid, and inhospitable soil could turn into a true oasis of life and abundance? In Israel, this transformation is not legend or metaphor, but palpable reality. The Negev desert, once a symbol of barrenness, now produces grapes for internationally awarded wines, fruits that supply markets, and flowers that delight the world. It's a miracle camouflaged as cutting-edge technology, smart irrigation, and a resilient faith that moves mountains, or rather, makes the desert bloom. Imagine looking at your own personal desert, that moment of difficulty, doubt, or emotional drought, and discovering that, just like in the Negev, there is potential to sprout life, even where it seemed impossible. The lesson is clear. When God places his hand, not even the desert remains. It is an invitation for each person to believe that their life can flourish amid adversity, with some care, strategy, and, of course, that inexplicable spark of hope you just feel. If you haven't noticed yet, the blooming of Israel's desert is more than agriculture or economy. It's a living symbol of transformation that goes far beyond the physical land. It's a call for all who face crisis, spiritual, emotional, or financial. Learn to apply this truth. Cultivate your faith. Seek knowledge to water your mind, and prepare to harvest surprising fruits. After all, even the driest sand can turn into a garden. It is impressive to think of millions of people around the world feeling a deep call to return to their origin. It is not just a trip, but a reunion with history, identity, and promise. Thousands of Jews from countries as distant as Ethiopia, the United States, and Russia board planes bound for Israel, carrying not only suitcases but dreams, and a hope that spans generations. This phenomenon, known as Aliyah, is one of the clearest signs that prophecies are not tales of the past, but living promises. Imagine if you felt an irresistible pull to return to your roots, to a place where everything you are finds meaning and purpose. It's as if a spiritual magnet was activated, connecting each person to a destiny bigger than themselves. This national reunion symbolizes that God does not forget his promises, even if they take centuries to be fulfilled. Divine patience is incredible, and human perseverance in the face of this promise is inspiring. In your life, this example invites reflection. What have you avoided returning to? Maybe it's a dream, a faith, or an inner truth you've set aside. Just as the Jewish people returned to their ancestral home, you too can find your way back to what gives meaning and strength to your existence. And believe me, the process can be challenging, but the reunion with your roots brings new life and deep renewal. Jerusalem is a small city, almost a hidden pearl on the map, but it carries a weight that surpasses borders and touches directly the heart of the greatest global conflicts. Think about it. The city, smaller than many regional capitals, is constantly the focus of debates at the UN. Tensions between Iran, the United States, Russia, and other powers. It's as if Jerusalem were a small stone thrown into a huge lake, creating waves that spread throughout the whole world. This phenomenon is a clear sign of how much it is the spiritual and political epicenter of our time. Imagine a small town that suddenly begins to dictate the course of global politics, interfering in the lives of millions. That's the reality of Jerusalem. No matter how much many try to ignore it, it is the stage where many strategic games unfold. Like a chessboard, where each piece represents a national or spiritual interest. This leads us to reflect. What does such a small city have that is so powerful? It is, in fact, a symbol that carries the promises and conflicts that will shape the future of the planet. This prophecy invites us to look beyond the headlines and understand that what happens in Jerusalem reverberates in everyone's life, including yours. The geopolitical and spiritual dramas unfolding there have deep echoes, and ignoring them would be like closing your eyes to a clock that is marking the final hour. Speaking of time, have you noticed how everything around us seems to speed up? That brings us to the next sign. Never before in history has humanity had access to so much information and travel possibilities as today. We are living in an era where, in a matter of hours, you can cross continents and, with a click, access data that decades ago seemed impossible. Think about how artificial intelligence, for example, with tools like ChatGPT, has revolutionized how we interact with knowledge. It's as if the whole world were in an endless feed, an avalanche of data consuming our attention. This multiplication of knowledge and ease of travel has changed not only the physical geography, but also the mental and spiritual geography of people. The speed at which we receive information, jumping from one platform to another, from TikTok to from YouTube to Instagram, creates a frantic rhythm that sometimes distances us from the essential. It's a challenge to keep focus and wisdom amid this whirlwind. After all, knowledge without wisdom can turn into pure distraction. Now, imagine how all this impacts your personal life. Have you ever felt overwhelmed, lost, or without time to reflect amid so much information? It is an invitation to reassess how to filter what really matters and not be swept away by the frantic wave. Knowing how to make this choice is crucial so you are not swallowed by this sea of knowledge. And this connects us directly to another prophecy very present in our time. We live in an age where the gospel message has been softened to the point that, for many, it has become a self-help product. It's common to find pulpits turned into motivational stages, where the cross and repentance take a back seat. Truth has become politically incorrect, and has been replaced by catchy phrases and easy promises. It's as if God became a genie in a lamp, appearing only to grant blessings when someone rubs the faith lamp. This phenomenon is not new, but it has never been so visible and dangerous. When the gospel loses its depth and hardness, it opens space for the heart to stay comfortable, where true repentance is avoided. For example, many people seek sermons that affirm that everything will be fine, that God will solve all problems without demanding real life changes. This generates a superficial faith without transformation. Now, think about your own spiritual journey. Have you ever found yourself seeking messages that only comfort instead of challenge? What kind of preaching moves you more? It is essential to recognize that Jesus' call includes renunciation, and that the true gospel is not pleasant to everyone. And this reality connects directly to a final prophecy, very current, which affects even the most sincere hearts. Nowadays, it's impossible not to notice the cooling of love among people, especially within the Christian community. Social media have become minefields of offenses, cancellations, and divisions that seem to grow every day. It's as if the warmth of faith is being replaced by a cutting cold, which distances hearts and undermines relationships. Many who were raised in faith because of scandals, disappointments, or opposing ideologies end up leaving the church, becoming the so-called This reality is sad, but it is exactly what scriptures warn us about. Apostasy, or abandonment of faith, is not a new phenomenon, but its current intensity is astonishing. It is as if an entire generation got tired of the traditional gospel and sought something more modern and less demanding. While the true spiritual fire slowly goes out, imagine a candle in a closed room. Without care, it goes out, leaving everything in darkness. However, even in this scenario, there is real hope accessible to anyone. God's fire can reignite cold hearts, and faith can be reborn with greater intensity than before. Transformation begins within each person, in a conscious decision to seek truth despite challenges and external pressures. And this inner flame can be the turning point to face what is coming. Now that you've seen how these prophecies are fulfilling before our eyes, the question remains, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you keep living in distraction, as if nothing is happening? Or will you start awakening to the spiritual reality around us, seeking to understand the greater purpose of your life? Think about it. The world is changing too fast, and only those who are alert can find the right path. Are you willing to open your heart to see beyond appearances? Are you ready to renew your faith, strengthen your hope, and act with purpose? Transformation starts within each one, with small daily decisions. Praying more, seeking more wisdom, forgiving those who hurt you, and sharing this message with those you love. Have you imagined what it would be like if everyone around you also woke up to this truth? So, here's my invitation. Don't let this message die in oblivion. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos that will help you walk this journey. Activate notifications to be the first to know the news, and share this content with someone who needs to hear it today. Together, we can awaken a generation ready for the challenges and promises ahead. And you? Are you ready to take the next step?